Welcome to Pre-Market Prep at the close. Spencer Israel, Joel Elconin. It's been a day. It's been a day for the market. It's been volatile. We've been weak. Last I checked, the only sectors in the green for the day, utilities and consumer staples. It really has been a conventionally defensive day for the market. Joel, bring up those charts for us and walk us
Sure.
through this action
Good.
in the S&Ps.
Well, tech led us higher and tech's leading us lower here. A lot of things to talk about. Here's your 30-minute chart in the S&Ps, and never really made a really solid run at that pre-market high at 84.50. But what we did make a high at was Tuesdays and Wednesdays high, and let's just call a pair of highs there at 32.73. We got to 175 early in the morning, and then we were just chop suey. This was some really choppy action. Down to 55, back to 70, down to 55, back to 70, down. So you got chopped up, and then once you took out that daily pivot right there near the pre-market low, that's when the big boys got involved here. And there wasn't much. And we also got through Wednesday's low at 27 and a quarter. I think when we broke that, I mean, everyone had their 3,200 hat on and was looking for that. But instead, we hit 14 and a quarter. We've rebounded. Not a good day. We could talk about the reasons why or the reasons why not here in a second. But let's just go to crude. And you got crude here. Crude is trading in the red. By what do we have crude in the red by 71 cents at 41.19. Ooh, I didn't bring that up well at CL. So crude just, a down day too. Kind of topped out near yesterday's high, missed it, giving some back, maybe holding back to the $40 area. Gold and silver going in opposite directions as they've been doing as of late. Gold sniffed 1900 there, pulled back, currently trading up $19.60 at 1884.60. Silver got up to 23.67 and we lost a whole stick. We're trading down at 22.71. So maybe just some profit taking in silver. Man, I kind of want to try a silver short, but it's a rocket ship here. Maybe we'll have to get back in that 23 handle again. Look at that. This is on the daily here. These kind of things I like to look for. You did exceed yesterday's high in silver by a decent amount. So if you were using a tight stop, you got stopped out. But if you were aggressive enough to hit it after it came back down to that high, you got a pretty good trade. But man, let's talk about, and we haven't said this in a long time, it's a tech wreck.
Yeah, it is a tech wreck. Today is a really good day to think back and realize that you don't always need a reason, like a fundamental reason for the market to go up or go down.
The market always goes up.
I was going, well, not today. I was going back and forth with Brent Slava, who's head of our news desk, and he was trying to, I was like, Brent, what's the deal? What's the deal? Why are we down? And he's saying, Spencer, it could be technical. And the hard truth is there could be 30, 50 reasons why the market's down today. There's no one clean reason, and there doesn't have to be. You could say it's technical. You could say it's lack of vaccine news. You could say it's follow through from the weak jobless claims today. You could say it's just the result of Microsoft, which is dragging down tech, which is dragging down everyone else. You could Tesla, for that matter, too.
Stumbled upon.
You could say it could be anything. But the bottom line is the market's down. Tech wreck. Let's walk through it. Let's look at some of these big tech stocks. Microsoft down, last I saw is 4%. Apple is getting cracked today, now 5%. Google, Facebook.
And I think that Tesla is really the culprit. We've gone from major green to major red in that issue. The tech leader, electronic cars, yada, yada, yada. So the fact that rolled over, hit a high of 1689. And then, hey, how'd those straddle riders do? We might have, we had 200, just a 200-point range. They were still selling. They might have been sweating a little bit, but it rolled over. Tesla rolled over. It couldn't, keep that momentum from the morning. Actually opened up near its high, had a $200 sell off here. So I had talked about that 1620 level, got to bounce off that. So I'm kind of blaming Tesla. That's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to say for you, Tesla, bulls and bears out there. And let me take a look at the data window here because, an earnings reaction, a stock is usually more volatile on earnings. You got a low here at 1480. All right. Yesterday's low was 1431. I'll still keep my Tesla bull cap on here, but I have a feeling give it to 1431. You take out 1431 here, you're back at 1266. Oh, this is a weekly. Let me go to a daily here. I don't want weeklies. I want dailies. All right. Big area. 1480.77. Your low today. 4-day low 1488. 5-day low 1490. You got a big bounce out of there. I'm going to say that the low from today, I'm going to move it up to 1480. You take that out, I'm not worried about 1466 or 1457 or 1431. I think you could get a lot of downward momentum there. And, why not? I mean, why not see, after the run it's had a simple retracement to get Tesla back in triple digits wouldn't be that far out of the question. But they said there's a lot of bad news on Apple today. I saw some of the antitrust. Do you want to go to any other of the bad news on Apple here?
Yeah, they're still not out of the woods with that mess. They've also got there was a patent infringement lawsuit filed against the company. There was another thing with the Texas AG who may sue Apple. So a couple of things weighing on Apple. I don't think any of those headlines are what's causing the stock to go down 5% today. It's really just down with the rest of the market, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But I don't know the last time Apple's had a day like this.
Probably not too long ago, probably like in February or March here.
That's a long time ago for me.
Yeah. But I mean, it just is this one thing, and it's just hard with, because when stocks are going up, everyone's an expert and, no one, just buy. But the thing is like when stocks are going up, look at, you're looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 days worth of gains gone like that, right? And so today we'll keep an emphasis. Today's low current low is 70.40. Actually, we're probably going to make a new low here. No, it's 68.04, 368.04. Do I have anything in that area? Not really. Maybe look, next area of support I see, if we take out this low, you got a pair of lows just under 364, 63.91 and 63.64. But that's what you're taking a look at Apple. I mean, a little profit taking. I mean, look at the weekly you've had this March here, and then the daily. So, some people like to take profits some of the time. So I think a little bit of profit taking.
You could also say that. Yeah, great point. You could also just say, hey, straight up, it's profit taking. Don't know. You could say it's the fact that we don't have a clear stimulus bill once this one expires yet. Nothing signed. A bunch of things you could.
You know what also is interesting, Spencer? There was a lot of good vaccine news out today, this week, right? And early last week.
Past 2 weeks, yeah.
Yeah, but look at your Carnival Cruise Lines. Your daily chart is the second one over to the right. Does that look like is that a happy chart? I mean, let's go to Royal Caribbean. Right there, all the good news. If any stocks in the sector are going to respond to this kind of news, I put Clorox up there. Man, oh man, my typing skills need to be improved. There, that. All the good news. This thing is $25 off its high of the move. Your airlines too. If people are really that excited about a vaccine, then these are the stocks that are going to react, and they haven't. So I think that's another thing that you mentioned, that you've had vaccine news, but it's like the market's not buying it.
Well, speaking of airlines, they were up a lot more than they are right now, but they've all seemed to reverse at around noon today. But if you look at pretty much all the charts, look exactly the same: Delta, American, Southwest. United.
Fauci? You want to blame Fauci?
You can Fauci talks every day. I'm not sure. It's hard to blame him for me. It could be, but anyway, so let's go to earnings here. There's not too many reports after the close and tomorrow morning of big significance to us. We are going to get Intel. It's probably the most important report after the close today. We're also going to get Skyworks Solutions. That's notable, but not too much else that really interests us. Mattel, maybe. Boston Beer. I'm curious how beer sales were last quarter. And then tomorrow morning, we're going to get, oh, I just had it up here.
What is Boston beer? What's the symbol
Sam,
on it?
Sam,
Sam,
SAM.
I knew it.
Yep.
Sam Adams. Yeah. Oh boy, oh boy. A little profit taking here coming in. Wow, this thing's had a big old range too today. Everything. It's not a tech stock, but it's coming in. S&Ps here, we're hanging out just above the low of the day, folks. We're going to make a new low here before the session ends. 14 and a quarter stands as your current low. We're trading at 17 and a quarter, 8 minutes to go. Didn't get a look at the imbalances, but I'm imagining they're slated to a little bit to the sell side here. A lot of times when you have a big up day, up, rally, 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 you get, a momentum on the close going the same way. You have a bad day, you had downside, selling off. A lot of times the momentum is to the sell, the same side as the market. So we'll see. We had passed that 350 hours, so we'll see what happens. But just hanging above that intraday low. Don't have anything there for you, folks, above 14 and a quarter. We'll see if we can hold that in the final 8 minutes of the day.
So we're also going to get Verizon tomorrow morning, and AT&T set the bar low this morning. Their sales missed and their GAAP EPS missed, although they did beat on an adjusted basis. So a mixed report from AT&T, setting the bar a little bit low. Let's see what Verizon does tomorrow morning. We'll pull that chart up now.
Verizon, a little bit of a defensive stock today, right? So that's in the green by a few. If you're trading this tomorrow, we'll keep an eye on 55.50 to 56.50. 56.50 identifies a pair of highs that you had in the issue from Monday and then also from last week. So we'll keep an eye on that. On the downside, you got a couple pesky lows. Today's low comes in at 55.40, and then you also had a low at 55.37. So there's your range, 55.5, 56.5, kind of the outskirts. Trading more towards we're almost in the middle here at 56. So good levels. There's been some size, been some paper over there the last 2 days. Let's see if those same people are out there in the pre-market trading.
All right, questions from the chat. Let's look at Visa. We got a question earlier. Would you suggest, I'm not going to suggest anything, but potentially, how does Visa look as a buy into earnings here?
A buy into earnings. Well, as I've stated before, I don't buy stocks anticipating the earnings reports because nor do I sell stocks because you don't know if they have a good report. You could have a good report on a bad day or a bad report on a good day. For Visa here, I'm looking too much resistance at 200 for me. I mean, I think even in a good report, you might not be able to get up to 200. And I'm not just talking about the dailies, folks. I'm talking about the weeklies here. You hit 200 earlier in the week, right? 295. You also had a high just under that. Then you had another weekly high at 20015. Then you missed it again. So to me, it just too much resistance there at 200 and just a big move up. No, I'd be waiting to buy this on a pullback. I know some of the other companies had some good numbers, but I mean, it's also kind of a mixed bag. I mean, I know my Visa bill has been very low because I haven't been going anywhere. But I do have, for $500, $600, $700 Costco charges on there and, other Kroger's and Myers or whatever. So I don't know. I fees it to me. It's got a nice rebound off that March low. I think you can get it cheaper.
What about Intel here? I mentioned that. Let's pull up the Intel chart. They do report today after the close.
Today after the close, and we got to take a look. Did AMD fall through today, or did it get a little bit tired? We'll have to take a look here. Intel, good support just under 58. Let's keep an eye on that. That's on the weekly charts, folks. Down here, I'm looking at all these lows, 57.5, 58. So that's your target on the upside. Wide parameter on the upside, 64. But on your dailies, I'll go to the dailies here. And these three lows just under 62. So I don't think I get too excited about Intel on the upside until it could bust through 62. On the dailies, you can see a lot of highs, 193, 177, and 174. So real good support under 58. Maybe I'd call that major resistance just under 62. S&Ps rejected that low and trying to rally in the close. 4 minutes left.
Michael Rivera commented in our chat, every time a CEO is on this show, the stock goes sideways. Well, sorry about that. not our intention. I mean, nor is it our intent to do anything.
Sideways or down.
Sideways. I don't know what that says about us, about me, or about our listeners.
Doesn't say anything about you, Spencer. You work your ASS off to get those guests on. So.
I have a lot of help. All right, let's go to more tickers from the chat. Drop them in there. We got a few minutes left. Let's look at as I scroll. All right, Joel, this isn't really in your wheelhouse, but we'll look at it anyway. ABUS for Rocket. They have
Airbus.
No, yeah, Airbus is over the counter, so it's a EA.
This is not in my wheelhouse.
Anyway, ABUS had a small cap biotech. They have news today.
Okay, good news. Woohoo! A doubler, and trading near the highs of the session. That's good. You got someone that has an opinion here, though, at $6. I don't know who that person is or how much stock they have. But they want out, and they're selling. They got over at 6. They got to 648, but now you're back under 6. So keep an eye on that close, right? Wherever we end up, 585. That will be your good number because that's all the people that don't pay attention to the market all day. And they looked at this yesterday and they're like, yeah, this is at 282. And then they're going to look at their statement. They're going to say 595, $6. Get me out. So that mark will be important. Popping over $6 here. This is the first day of the move. So if you're looking for a 2-day move here, you're just get started here. I wouldn't want to be short this one. And I would, wherever we close today, I'd probably maybe give it a little, 40, 50 cents under the close. But I imagine there's massive volume in this stock today. Actually, traded 1.7 million yesterday, 90 million today. So this is going to hit all the buy scanners tomorrow. Woohoo! Up on huge volume. Buy. They could care less what the company does or what the actual news is, but a lot of momentum in this one. If you have a target in this area, certainly take it. Boy, the weeklies are not even doing this thing any justice here. On the monthlies, if you really want to get giddy here, 982 was a high back in December of 18, but we'll see if you get a 2-day move. Spoo's getting a little bounce here, trying to get back some of those losses, actually getting in the area of yesterday's low.
Let's do one more. Here's one I haven't looked at. TUP, Tupperware, and they had earnings that were great, apparently.
Tupperware, that stock was left for dead. You know what's happening now?
That would be your closing bell, folks.
You know what? This is why Tupperware is rallying, okay? Because of COVID. This is a COVID play.
Sure, yeah.
Yes, because everyone was cooking. And you know how you do your meal prep, Spencer, and you cook all those things? You need to put it in Tupperware, right? So everyone had leftovers from cooking so much they had to go out and buy.
I mean, it makes sense.
That's a Tupperware rally. I'll just tell you, folks, you're trading up $1.25. This is a big run, and I'm glad I got the weeklies up here because there's a big weekly level, and so far we've cleared it. 954 and 972. Those were two weekly highs from earlier in the year. How high did we get today? We got to now. Oh, look at that. Same area, 966. Backing off it just a little bit at 906. So big area on your weeklies. You want to see this thing bust into the 10 handle, but you are running in to some weekly resistance.
All right, that's a wrap for us today. As far as tomorrow's show, we'll be joined by Jason Rasnick, who is our CEO. Still working to see if we can maybe round up another guest to join with him, but
sure,
only Jason confirmed for tomorrow. If you missed any part of this broadcast, any of our broadcasts, you can replay them on YouTube or catch our podcast for the Pre-Market Prep in the morning. That's on iTunes, SoundCloud, Spotify, Stitcher, all your major platforms. Please also hit that like button and subscribe. We appreciate it. It helps us improve with YouTube and also gives us more feedback, and we appreciate any and all feedback as always, and it helps us grow. So like button and subscribe. Thank you very there. I see the likes going up now. Thank you very much, everyone. I appreciate that. And
who doesn't like us? Stand out. Who doesn't like us?
A lot of people. All right. Please remember, all the information from our broadcast are meant to be used as informational purposes, not for investing or trading advice. We are closed now. Earnings coming. I hear the news desk flying as they try to get through them. So everyone have a great rest of your day. We'll be back with you tomorrow morning.